we have the Solutioneer team for the Matuli Foundation, which to brag is our first international project for GreenLight, and we're super proud of what this team is able to do with the time differences and everything. So we're going to, without further ado, introduce the Matuli Foundation team.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's really inspiring to see so many people here invested in sustainability, and we're really excited to share what we've worked on with Matuli so far. Before we begin, we would just like to introduce our team. My name is Erin Trondvine. I'm majoring in Business Global Politics with a minor in Sustainability, and this is my third year at ASU.
I'm Riley Richardson, and I'm a sophomore studying Sustainability.
I'm Nathan Scherder. I'm a sophomore and I'm studying Sustainability.
My name's Katie. I'm also a sophomore and I'm studying Mechanical Engineering and Global Health.
Next, we'd like to introduce our project partner. This is Robert. He is the founder and executive director of Matuli Foundation. And when we were establishing our relationship, we asked Robert to define sustainability, and this was his response. An efficient use of planet resources so as to maintain energy, regain nature, and reinforce social economic transformation in a community. I think that this is really inspiring, and this is how we kicked off our project to develop goals that aligned with this. So before we dive in deeper, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Matuli Foundation. So on the right, you can see a map, and this is kind of showing you where specifically Matuli is located in the Karanga district in Malawi, Africa. And I'd like to read Matuli's mission statement, which is to promote skills, capacity building, and socioeconomic transformation of the vulnerable rural society in Karanga Northwest through unanimous community participation and own all-level projects circle management. So they'll be able to complete this mission by implementing irrigation agriculture systems and youth skills development programs. And these programs reduce chronic poverty, increase the locals' right to sustainable development and their right to security, as well as enhance the quality of life for everyone.
So when we started the project, we kind of wanted to look at what Matuli was already doing. And so the current systems that they have in place are a raised bed irrigation system and a sub-irrigation system. And both of these are just used in order to conserve water and make sure it's being used efficiently. The sub-irrigation system in particular allows the soil to absorb the water it needs without a ton of human intervention. Another interesting thing about these planters is that they get the bottles from the community, so they're decreasing their waste as well as supporting others in the community. We were really excited to see that Matuli had systems like this in place and they were putting sustainability as a priority.
So the United Nations has compiled 17 goals for sustainable development by 2030. In line with our first objective, we went with tactic 2.4.1, and this is to help develop the production of agriculture under productive and sustainable agriculture. We wanted to think long-term, but at first we had to set short-term goals to have those impacts to really get the ball rolling. So to develop this tactic, we were initially using the processes we saw previously, and over time, we hope that the Mtuli Foundation will continue to be ambitious and forward-thinking to help continue their drive towards sustainable agriculture and irrigation systems. By smartly putting more land to use, we can help push these goals, grow past the initial ideas we had, and it also involves developing designs, strategies, and using resources to get there. And for the Matuli Foundation, we found that these two goals were right in line with our mission. So for our second objective, we used tactic 17.17. And this is reaching out to potential partners, building those connections with them to help build up smallholder farmers in Malawi. This will give them data, insight, resources, and strategic analysis to further their long-term growth. And this will help them further build sustainable agriculture and agribusiness to promote food security and equality within the region.
Our vision for the project that was by the end of this project, we were going to help Matuli Foundation get an overview of the different sustainable practices they could be using for irrigation and agriculture, and then choose the ones that best fit their environment and their resources. And then we also wanted to aid them in building a larger resource network, including partnerships, businesses, and other just local organizations that could help them in their mission. So our mission as a team, in order to get to accomplish this vision, was to first present the Matuli Foundation with a bunch of research about different sustainable agriculture and irrigation solutions that they could consider, and then help narrow down to the ones that best fit them. And we also wanted to compile a list of different organizations that they could gain different support, whether it be funding or partnerships from, and then help them initiate outreach.
Yeah, so as we were outlining these goals, we created two different objectives and kind of split our team in half. So the first half of our team focused on creating a review of these agricultural and irrigation practices that we thought would be beneficial in Malawi. And we were aiming for about 5 of each of these strategies. And then the other half of our group focused on the second objective, which was to create a list of organizations as an outreach resource for Matuli. And our goal was to have a list of 50 organizations and to have contacted at least 30 of them.
So initially, we did have very ambitious goals for outreach. We wanted to reach out to these 50 organizations. Unfortunately, we only came up with 33. Though we felt very strongly about these 33 and how they might be able to impact and connect with the Mtuli Foundation. So we were okay with not achieving this goal. Now, of these diverse organizations, we were only able to reach out to 28 of them, just because some of these required more information and materials than we had on hand. Yeah, they all provided avenues in which we can further grow to develop this sustainable agriculture in Malawi. This is from holistic farming, vertical farming, landscape design, seed donations, and both short and long-term funding. We feel confident in these organizations, and some of which have already reached out, that they can all greatly contribute to the Mtuli Foundation and help build long-lasting partnerships.
For research, we first completed a literature review on the current agricultural methods used by the Matuli Foundation. And then we also researched the environment of Malawi, because a solution that's going to work here in Arizona isn't necessarily going to work on the other side of the world. Then we looked at different potential agricultural practices that Matuli could use. We focused specifically on irrigation, but we also looked at other possibilities such as food storage or rainwater harvesting. We created documents for these solutions, and an additional thing that while we missed just a couple little bit short of our KPI, we were able to find some other educational agricultural solutions that could be used with the local school children, or just anyone who wants to learn more about agriculture. And we feel very confident that we reached that goal of different solutions that could fit in their education and the agricultural systems that they have there.
So to complete this research portion of our project, we created 2 guides, one on the irrigation and agricultural solutions that we came up with, and then one on education. So the first one's filled with like proposals for new systems or possible improvements to current systems. We included different tips and infographics showing how they could increase their efficiency and sustainability within the community. The educational guide is more geared towards the youth in the community. And so it was filled with like various activities and other ways to get them excited about these topics.
If any of you are interested in furthering Matuli's goals, I'd like to let you know that their current fundraising campaign is active, and you can find it at this link or this QR code on the screen. They're currently raising money to purchase seeds for their demonstration farms in local schools. And that being said, I'd also like to share this personal message from Robert.
We as Mtuli Foundation would want to give the most needy families in Kalunga Northwest to boost their food production through your donation. The funds that will be raised are going to be solely used for the implementation of the project. I know when you go on the website or you visit our fundraising page, you can have a lot of details that you might need. We thank you for choosing to support us, because it's the most precious donation to Mtuli Foundation, so that we are able to support the people who are facing acute hunger in the rural villages by giving them an opportunity to do their farming. So thank you very much. We really appreciate. We as Mtuli
And thank you guys so much for listening. We're really excited to see where this goes in the future, and we were really happy to partner with Matuli Foundation. If anybody has any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
All right, it looks like we have one question from Jim. Would you like to answer or ask your question?
Yeah, as one of your agricultural partners, have you looked at a place called Ascending Harvest?
We haven't, but I will definitely be sure to look into that after this and see if I could send it to Robert. Robert, if you're listening, also, that could be something interesting. Is it an organization located in Malawi or?
No, it's an organization. It's actually out of Utah, and they have an amazing, in my opinion, technology. I actually have a prototype of it here in Arizona, and it's a cross hybrid hydroponic, and it does really well with very little water. And I would highly recommend that you talk to these guys, especially Shane McKenna, to see if there's some way that you can work something out with him, because it's a very, very good growing solution.
Thanks so much. If you have like a contact and you'd like to privately message me that I'd be really grateful.
All right, this is a really good question. Being an international project, what were some challenges that you might have faced as a result of being partnered with a international project partner?
I think one of the big challenges is what you'd expect with having a partner on the other side of the world, is not being able to visit and see what their current like agriculture systems were. As Riley talked about, it was really cool how they put sustainability first in a way that America oftentimes doesn't. But because we couldn't see their current solutions besides through pictures like emails and such, it was kind of harder to find improvements without that hands-on experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matuli.